Welcome to Module 1, Creating Your Foundation. And what lies at the center of the foundation of a thriving life? Wellness. Cultivating and embodying this as a way of life, embodying your well-being. Because if you're moving into this reality where it's thriving, what happens when you encounter obstacle, when you encounter challenge, when you encounter resistance? Well, without having a foundation that supports those challenges, that thriving life will be very challenging to create. So today we want to bring in some awareness around creating a perspective of life that at the top of your priority list is your overall well-being. And there are a tremendous bank of practices that we can bring into our life that really help us support this state. For me, in most of my life, I was simply managing life. I was in this almost survival mode to where I was just handling what was directly in front of me. I wasn't looking too far into the future. I wasn't planning a life. I was simply just surviving. But it wasn't until that I made a shift in my daily routines, my habits, into the practices that I integrated into my life. And I started looking at life through this more holistic approach, where I needed to realize that, well, if I want to create this thriving life for myself, I can't just be financially well off. No. I can't just be physically fit. No, that won't do it either. That instead, I need to be physically healthy, mentally healthy, emotionally healthy. I had to develop a spiritual connection. I had to build healthy relationships. I had to shift my environment. I had to become aware of the foods I ate and the information that I took in. So this shifted my entire understanding of what life can be like. My entire way of life had to transform. It had to be aligned with a life that was thriving. Of course, this didn't happen overnight. It took practice. I had to experiment with different things. I had to explore different possibilities in different classes and different exercises. But ultimately, I started creating some foundational pieces for my journey that would support me in the most challenging times as I create this thriving life. Because if you are trying to create this new life, this expansive way of life, you're going to be challenged. You're going to have to shed identities, challenge beliefs, eliminate fears. So what will support us? It'll be this holistic approach to life, making it our priority. Because if we are in this state of embodiment where we feel good, where we feel confident, where we feel at peace, where we feel nurtured and taken care of and loved, then life will reflect that back to us. If we are thriving inside, then we will inevitably thrive out here. So if you were to look at your life, what kind of practices do you have in place right now that support this way of life? And it's okay if you don't have any, because we're here now today to begin that journey together. And if you do have some, which ones really hold extreme value on your journey? Which ones support you the most? And where can you bring new practices in that can really help? For instance, in this journey with me throughout the Reimagined Mind course, we're going to be utilizing a few tools specifically for this journey. Number one is going to be journaling. And I say this because it's very challenging to create these shifts in our life without actually extrapolating them on paper, without becoming aware of our thoughts and our patterns and our habits, getting clear on our goals and our desired future. And by writing this out, we really get to see it from this higher perspective. We get to pull it all out of here and place it on paper. And it's like so many of us are trying to solve problems in our life or to create new powerful solutions and perspectives. But take this, for instance. If I were to give you a math problem, whether you're good in math or not, and I were to state, okay, what's 12 times 6? It's not too challenging to create that. It might take you a few seconds to realize that it's 72, and that's okay. It's fairly simple for the majority of us. But now most of our problems in life are not that simple. So how do we create a better perspective, and how can we utilize one of these tools to really extrapolate the challenges of life And if I were to give you a problem such as 12 times 6 at the power of 17 divided by 72, then it becomes a lot more challenging. So what would we do? What tools can we use if we didn't have a phone or a calculator with us? We would take a piece of paper and a pen out, and we would extrapolate this equation out, new long form division and multiplication, which we all did learn at some point in our life, and we would find an answer eventually. The same thing holds true with our life. And that's why these practices are so fundamental. How can we really gain awareness around our thoughts? How can we gain more space inside, more compassion, if we don't have practices, if we don't have tools in place that really support this way of life? So journaling is going to be key to this journey. We're going to also incorporate some meditation, some embodiment practice, and visualizations. And if you want to explore any other tool, any other practice, please allow your curiosity to guide you directly into them to help create an understanding of what a life with prioritizing wellness is for you. What does that look like? What does that feel like? Make it tailored to your vision, to your journey. I know these tools, we're going to be utilizing them throughout this course, but they may not be the most potent ones for you in your journey. So please allow yourself the freedom to explore all of the possibilities for yourself. One of the key things that helped me support this new way of life was I created a dedicated space in my house. I took one room, and it was at one point my master bedroom, and since it was in the brightest place of the house, I actually converted it into a brain and body room, where I had a desk in one corner, which would be where my studies, my creative work would be done. And then for the rest of the room, I had yoga mat, yoga blocks and balls and workout bands and dumbbells, so that in between, while I was studying and working, I could go and address my body. I can start creating a holistic space for myself. I had a meditation cushion and chair in the corner. So this was a monumental shift in my life, and it radically shifted everything because finally I was taking care of myself. And since I was taking care of myself, this was exuding from my beingness into the world, and people would notice, people would sense this about me. It changed my career, changed my relationships, it changed my finances. So many things shifted because I took care of myself, because I addressed life with a different priority. Instead of simply managing and surviving, I said, no, I'm going to choose to thrive every day by bringing in some practices that are going to create this foundation. So no matter what I encounter along this journey, I'll have something to lean on, something to hold me and support me in all those challenges. So now that you're starting to build this perspective for yourself, you're starting to see your own foundation to the thriving life you're creating. Let's get into the integration aspect of it all. Take a moment and evaluate the pieces that are in place and how much they strengthen your journey, how fundamental they are to creating your foundation. And then also try to bring into your perspective where you might be lacking, or where you can bring a new practice in, or a practice you could improve upon. And then once you have this perspective, once you have this realization that, okay, I could shift this and this, improve on this, eliminate that, make a commitment to yourself. Make a commitment to this course. Make a commitment to creating a space perhaps to do the work that we're going to be doing here together. What does it look like to you? And write this out. Write out a statement to yourself that says you will show up in these ways to prioritize your well-being throughout this course and throughout your life. This powerful journey begins here, and I'm excited for you to create this for yourself, this foundation that will bring you into this thriving life. Thank you for joining me today, and I'll see you on the next one.